Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the MCU's most complex and unpredictable characters, Loki, the God of Mischief. A lot of fans have been asking, is Loki truly good or bad? Today we're going to break down his journey through the MCU using key scenes and moments that showcase both his dark side and his surprisingly heroic streak. Loki first appeared in Thor 2011 as the jealous brother, driven by resentment and jealousy. Here we see the beginning of his complex relationship with Thor and his lust for power. But it's not just about ruling. Loki learns he's adopted and isn't truly Asgardian, which throws his entire sense of identity into chaos. Feeling like an outsider, Loki's early actions are driven by his deep-seated feeling of betrayal. However, while his methods are undeniably villainous, trying to kill Thor and orchestrating an attack on Earth, we see that even though he's a villain, like all villains, his motives come from a place of pain. In The Avengers 2012, Loki fully steps into his role as a villain, leading an alien army to invade Earth. He's ruthless, arrogant, and destructive, using his powers of manipulation and deception to try and conquer humanity. But even in the most villainous state, there are hints of complexity. He's desperate for approval and validation from his would-be ally Thanos, and later the respect of his brother. Loki seems to need others' recognition more than he actually desires the power for himself. Yes, he's the main antagonist and still very much a villain, but in my opinion he comes across more of a bit of a bully and doesn't seem to have the same deep-rooted evil like someone like Thanos has. In Thor: The Dark World 2013, we see a critical shift in Loki's character. Yes, he still causes trouble, but when he loses his mother, Loki's walls begin to break down. His pain over her death gives us a rare glimpse of his softer side, and even though he continues to lie and manipulate, there's a sense that he is changing. And by Thor Ragnarok 2017, we see Loki who's capable of growth and even redemption. Thor challenges him to change, to be more than just a god of mischief, and for the first time, Loki seems open about it. He fights alongside Thor to save Asgard, showing that he has the potential to be a hero when he chooses to be. Across these four appearances, we see Loki's character change massively. One of the reasons why he turned into almost a hero is maybe because he actually failed at being a villain and realised this wasn't the real him. Obviously this all changed when his mother died, but also maybe this made him see Thor in a different light and also value him more as a brother, as he had already lost one member of his close family. In Avengers Infinity War 2018, we get one of Loki's most surprising and heroic moments. When Thanos attacks the Asgardian ship, Loki finally chooses to fight back, and rather than run, he faces Thanos. Ultimately, he sacrifices himself in an attempt to save his brother and others on board. The sacrifice shows how far he's come from the self-serving villain we met in Thor, and in the end, Loki's choice to stand up to Thanos feels like the ultimate act of redemption and loyalty, especially to Thor, who he once tried to kill. When we see this as an audience, we actually feel a bit sad about Loki's death, and he's actually grown a lot of people as a kind of hero at this point. It shows his change as a person, and his heart and intentions are now in the right place. But it doesn't end there. Thanks to the Multiverse, we actually see Loki again in Disney Plus's series. This Loki hasn't experienced his mother's death or sacrifice in Infinity War, and at first he is the same villain from Avengers. Proud, self-centered, and driven by a desire to rule. But over the course of the series, we see him change once again. This time it's connected to Mobius and his variant, Sylvia. He's become more introspective, questioning his purpose and even choosing to protect others instead of seizing power for himself. This version of Loki, unburdened by his past crimes, makes choices that show he's more than just a villain. He even stands up in the TVA's corrupt system, proving that he's capable of standing up for what's right, and in the end sacrifices himself again to save all the timelines in another heroic gesture. So is Loki good or bad? In my opinion, it's both. He definitely started off as a strong antagonist, but as time went on, he very much changed into a hero. And that doesn't mean he's a hero like the Avengers are, as he still does have a mysterious side and does still act a bit unpredictable at times. And he's definitely not as forthcoming to save the world as someone like Iron Man is. But we do know he is willing to sacrifice himself for those he loves. I think he's been grappling with a sense of identity since he came in the MCU, torn between his dark impulses and his need to belonging. He is a trickster, a villain, but also a brother and a hero when he wants to be. Loki's journey shows that he's not just one thing, he's constantly evolving, and in Loki's case, his path to redemption has been a twisting one, but in the end we're showing that he can choose good when it truly matters, and it's what makes him such a great character. I think he has one of the best character arcs and character developments across the whole of the MCU, and I do think this is partly because he has featured in a lot of films and even had his own series with 2 seasons in at the end of it, so he has got a lot of screen time, and I also think the actor that plays him, Tom Hiddleston, does does a great job at presenting the actor and showing the different sides to him. I think he is such an interesting actor as you can't really put your finger on him. If we saw him again in an MCU movie, we wouldn't really know if he was the villain or the hero, but chances are it would be somewhere in between. What do you think of Loki? Is he a hero, a villain, or a little bit of both? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this short video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a video. And thanks for watching the video all the way to the end if you did make it to this point.